A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back into Thursday night coverage of the CNC Home Designs Truck Series, Maximum Velocity Racing. My name is Matt Williamson. Tommy Cook is not with us here again tonight, this time for a much better reason. We'll get into that in a moment, let you know what's going on in his world. But I do have Joshua Motichek, as always, here on Thursday night, and we are bringing this one to you from Talladega Super Speedway, the biggest, the fastest circuit on the NASCAR schedule and on the MaxV schedule as well. Joshua, this is a classic. This is one that everybody tends to love, and I think both of us are quite excited for this one here as well.
Oh, absolutely. Always a thrill to be here with Max V on a Thursday night, but especially at a monster of a track like Talladega.
It will certainly be a night to remember, at least for one of many ways it could be. Let's go ahead and take a look at your points coming into tonight before we really get things rolling off. And there is a pretty big shakeup in the points here, as Dakota Floyd has taken the points lead over from Scott Patton. Scott Patton went into last week's race as the leader. No longer. Dakota Floyd takes over. Scott Patton moves back to second. Justin Michael only 1 point behind them. I mean, look at how tight the three of those are at the top of the points. This will be an interesting battle for the regular season championship, no doubt. James Lehman sits in fourth. Matt Sisler rounds out the top 5. Heath Smith, Greg Mall, Charlie Widener. Your top 8, Billy Bumgarner, Jack Watts, Rob Haynes. Mark Jackson moves into 12th. Jackson was off of the cut line, now above. So Will Kirk has moved down. Excuse me, I take that back. He's moved up to 13th. Riley Tilton, Rod Mitten, Brad Slagle. You round out your top 6. Not a ton of moves, but a little bit of movement there right at the cut line. And then, of course, Dakota Floyd taking over top spot in the points. That is going to be a great battle to watch as we continue regular season here, Joshua.
Yeah, definitely. Dakota has been on fire. If he has not won, he has been right there inside the top 5, collecting good points. Justin Michael put in a stellar performance the past couple weeks since he missed at Martinsville. Gonna be super keen to watch this battle up here inside the top 5, as close as it is. But a track like Talladega really can shake up the points. It's just as much anybody's game as Daytona is.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the characteristics that makes it a favorite of a lot of drivers. It's kind of the great equalizer. There's a lot of drivers in the field that might not feel like they can vie for a win week in and week out, but this is one they have circled on their schedule that is a prime spot for them to be able to take home here tonight. But that also makes it a race that everybody is going to be very aggressive to try and win, because maybe they feel like it's one of their only chances here throughout the season. So just like that, qualifying is over, and let's take a look at your starting lineup. Here it is, folks. James Lehman has taken the pole here at Talladega. League proprietor, or I guess not really proprietor, but he runs things around here. He's quick. He's always quick in qualifying around these parts. He takes the pole. Nathan Carroll qualifies in second. Will Kirk will start behind James Lehman on the inside of row number 2. Charlie Widener will start to Will Kirk's outside. Greg Mall will start in 5th, with Rod Mitten starting in 6th. On the fourth row, Sean Ryan will start in 7th. Billy Bumgarner will start to his outside. Mark Jackson start 9th. Andrew Schulte is here tonight. He will round out your top 10 in qualifying. Tyler Ebert will start in 11th. Matt Sisler 12th. Brawl Alvis and Brad Slagle will start in 13th and 14th. Mike Milfelt and Chris Braley will start in 15th and 16th. Matt Rodolasso, Wally Turheimer, Jack Watts and Zach Saunders will round out the top 20. Riley Tilton, Zach Groover, Ryan McRoberts, Chris Sargent, 23rd, 24th. Tyler Starcher in 25th and 26th. And Justin Bell and Andrew Fabian will start together. And then on the 15th row, Brandon Ease and Chris Voiles will start in 30th. We have a big field here tonight because we're going to keep going here on the starting lineup. Scott Patton will start in 31st. His teammate Justin Michael will start on his outside. So those two starting deep in the field. We'll have a lot of room to make up. We'll talk about that strategy here in just a little bit, I am sure. Aiden Young and Justin Ritchie will start in 33rd and 34th. Trent Drum, Jordan Neese, Brandon Gruber, Bill Paradise, Kerry Cleaver, Michael Van, Greg Parmalee, and Gary Offit will, I believe, round out your field. I don't think some of these drivers might be here. And Kyle Kabash is here as well, but I'm not sure he's taking the field or not. Once we kind of start rolling, we'll let you know who's here and who isn't, because there's a couple of drivers that might be starting from the pits or might not be starting at all. So, Joshua, how are we feeling about some of the qualifying here? A lot of our playoff drivers have elected to start in the back of the field.
Yeah, I definitely think that is a big-time fuel save move. The further you are to the front, the more fuel you are going to use. Speaking of fuel, Pit window is probably going to be around, probably around the 40 lap mark, if I had to guess. It is 70% fuel, so we're looking at 75 laps to be the full distance here. Should put the stage brake at 25%. I believe that would be the end of lap 17. 3 extra sets of tires is the usual. No fast repairs, and the incident limit is usual. 16x drive-through, and 21 incidents will be a DQ. So keep that in mind. Hard pushes down the straights can give you a 2x. So definitely keep that in mind as we see people move through this field.
Yeah, and the track temperature right now is 132 degrees. We don't talk about tire temperature, track temperature, tire wear too much here at a super speedway race, but that is a very high temperature and could come into play here. Should this thing go green and drivers not take tires for quite a while, that might be something to watch for here as well. Alrighty, folks, Pace Truck is about to pull off, of course, here at Talladega. The start-finish line is not right in the middle of the tri-oval. It's a little further down the way, so we're going to come through the tri-oval here. And Barney the flagman is going to wave the green flag. We are underway here for the CNC Home Designs Truck Series at Talladega.
Good getaway from this bottom. Lehman and Kirk gonna get it done. We have a caution already.
Caution's out already. What happened? It's something that happened in the back of the pack. I think our car draw right now is at about 30, so I don't know if we caught that one quite there. Sounds like there was probably a big checkup somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, not entirely sure where that one was.
Oh, there we see that is Brandon Weiss in the 65. Looks like maybe a checkup there in front of him, a few cars in front of him. Like the 60 tries to get rolling. It's a big checkup in front of the 60. Big slowdown, and it's actually Scott Patton that gets into the back of the 65 here.
Super interesting.
Looked like it was the 012 of Tyler Starcher that stacked up. Like that may have been 23 of Ryan McRoberts in front of them. But, I mean, you can't really put it on them. It's really hard to tell when you have these long lines where exactly it starts and then ends. I mean, of course we see where it ends, but it's really hard to point out where the stacking up actually starts there. So, you don't even really get across the line. And, in fact, if the caution came out before everybody crossed the line, start might be a little wonky.
Have to see how iRacing ends up putting this one.
Yeah, they have done quite a few updates on iRacing as of late, but I don't think this is one of those that has been. Thanks, folks. Might be scored a lap down potentially because they had not crossed the start-finish line to take the flag of the race yet. Have to see how this one plays out, but this gives us a chance to speak a little bit about why Tommy Cook is not with us here tonight. Tommy Cook, it will be, if those of you that don't know, I'm sure a lot of you probably do, he is the track announcer at Jacksonville Speedway in Jacksonville, Illinois, and also the lead announcer for the MOA Sprint Car Series that is based out of Jacksonville, Illinois. That is a dirt sprint car series, and they are going to have the World of Outlaws at Jacksonville Speedway tomorrow night. So if you have dirt vision, you might want to tune in because Tommy Cook will be on the call for World of Outlaws race. And in fact, the Jacksonville Speedway World of Outlaws race last season was the race of the year for them. It was an unbelievable race, so you're not going to want to miss it. If you do have dirt vision, be sure to tune in. Tommy Cook commentating on real life racing, spectacular race stats. Tommy Cook is preparing for that broadcast here tonight. I am filming that, and looks like we're gonna have one more trip around before we get going here. And I mean, honestly, this does nothing but help these guys do some fuel saving. I mean, Joshua, you talked about it right at the top of the broadcast. It's always on the top of the mind at a super speedway race. The more fuel you can save, the better at literally any point in the race. I mean, you could know that you're good on fuel no matter what, or at least think you are, but it's always smart to save as much fuel as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me personally, I try and save it at every track we go to. I'll wait until the last minute to crank the engine, and then even on the pace laps coming to green, I'm clutching in and saving it. It just helps extend. Even if you can get just that one or two more laps out of the fuel, that could be the one or two that you need to be faster at the end. If I'm not mistaken, we saw a few drivers come in under this caution, and we're seeing a few more now.
Yeah, there were a few. One of them being Brandon V got pushed into the grass. So just been going in to make sure he doesn't have any damage. That truck as possible. Looks like Kerry Cleaver came down pit road. Trent Drum, Justin Rich, Van Siller, Marmalade. Order's getting switched up big time right now. Due to drivers not crossing the start-finish line before the caution came. Jordan East, Justin Michael, Scott Patton came take fuel as well. So, yeah, I mean, that game has already started for these drivers. And, I mean, fuel strategy, even if you don't have an early caution or anything like, it's always a big to-do because a lot of these drivers try to actually get down pit road as quickly as possible, but still knowing that they can make it to the end, did the thing go all the way out green, because they want to get by themselves in a group that they're comfortable with and hopefully put a gap on the rest of the field before they come down the road. That is a strategy that I don't know if it will be as useful with this many trucks. I mean, you have a lot more trucks that would be able to latch on to you. You know, it's going to be a lot harder to get that big gap like we've seen in races prior, both here in Max V, and also that strategy was employed by the Max V drivers in Truck 200 as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out here with this trucks. But the inevitable wait is over. Hopefully we'll get some real racing in here. We're going to be coming to lap number 5. The pace truck is pulling off. And let's see if we can do it one more time and do it the right way. Green flag is out. Field is taken off. James Lehman will lead us to the line once again.
Will Kirk going to slide in now on the bottom. Leave Greg Mall as the leader of this outside line. And he's going to slide in as well.
Take long. Nathan Carroll to stick his nose out there. He doesn't want to wait. Didn't have a lot of help to begin with, but the cavalry is coming. Here comes Sean Ryan in the 51 to give some help there to the 63. That is Brad Slagle taking it to the top. But
one thing I prefer about Talladega over Daytona is you can run that third high line a little bit more easily than you can at Daytona. But Slagle with no help, he is going to fall back and get back in line.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about that. It is very easy to run 3 wide here, much easier than Daytona. In fact, if you got a really good group out there, you could get 4 wide if you really wanted to. But that certainly is not advisable, at least this early on in this one.
Yeah, especially with them having a stage caution very shortly coming up.
Yeah, this will be a bit of an all-out blitz here, and I mean, one thing that we talk about fuel save, if you can fuel save enough that you have an advantage on your pit stop, being able to take less fuel on your pit stop might be able to gain a few positions that way as well. So, drivers looking to do everything they can, at least those in the back. Those here in the top 15 or top 20, they're trying to figure out how they're going to get some bonus points here.
Yeah, bonus points at this point in the game are super, super valuable. Layman, one of the men who have fallen in the line on points, needing some extra here tonight.
Wide for about the first 20 trucks. Then after that, it gets a little bit single filed out. Outside line has a lot of momentum rolling right now. That's Nathan Carroll to the point. Had an opportunity to pull down. Will not take it. Elects to stick with the 51 of Sean Ryan, as there's one trying to come up onto the racetrack. I think that's Brandon V's. No, I take that back. It is not Brandon. I'm not quite sure who that was. But that got hairy there for a moment. They're actually 3 wide further back here, trying to get things sorted out. We'll go back to the front. Layman. Wow, that is an off-center push there from Will Kirk. For Layman, hoping for them to be a little bit more square than that.
Yeah, almost looking like Kirk is trying to get him moved around a little bit and maybe wants control of that bottom line. See, it looks like Jordan Neese is going to be the only man on this third line. Neese showed very, very fast pace at Daytona, and he's looking to get to the front early here.
One thing that could be happening is if there's enough fuel saving happening, he could actually make up some ground on his own without any help. You see him, I mean, he is kind of moving forward there through the corners, but oh, now he's going to get a little bit of help. Slagle might be looking to take it up to the third line as well. We know he loves running that third lane. Third lane starting to form up here. And Slagle will pull out as well. James Layman moves up to the second lane, so that will allow Will Kirk to take the point on the bottom. He'll get a nose out in front here with Charlie Widener pushing there from behind in the 95. Oh boy, we are making big moves already. That's Nathan Carroll who jumps up to the third lane now.
Bottom lane has the momentum, but once that top line gets sorted out, they'll start making huge strides.
And something that's happening here is that third lane has caught up to the fourth or fifth truck in line in the middle, and it's actually pulling that middle lane back a little bit, but you mentioned it. Here's that big surge of momentum from the middle line. Layman looking to take back over the front here.
I'm going to be on point. Mark Jackson, he is now looking to be the push truck on that outside line.
Yeah,
Brad Slagle.
just as quickly as that third lane formed, it disappeared pretty quick. Trying to come together again. Wow, that was a pretty aggressive move from Heath Smith to get up there. And as soon as he got up there, everybody else pretty much left him.
Yeah, watching Carroll has fallen all the way back from the front row trying to run that outside line. You can move up quickly, but you can also fall back just as fast.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Haven't mentioned you folks out there yet. The Moticheks are here for your one and only John. Michelle Kirk always cheering on Will. He's done well up to this point, sitting there pushing Lehman second in row on the bottom. And unfortunately, Riley Tilton not having too good of luck here again. He was going to try it, or unfortunately not able to continue. That's disappointing. Tilton is always a very good pusher, very aggressive here on these sorts of racetracks, and is always fun to watch. So don't have the 58 out here this evening, as, man, things are starting to get a little bit wild already. Only on lap 13, coming to lap 14 here. Roberts about got crossed up with another truck there trying to get to the top side. Finds his way up. He's given some help to Slagle there in the third line. Now, this is as far up as the third lane has been all night, and they have some momentum right here.
Yeah, Slagle trying to make that outside line work early. He is going to be the lead truck now when it does work. Going to get a big run off of 2. Look to pull up alongside Jackson, leading that inside middle row.
Jackson could pull down if he wished. He's going to stick with Rodolasso in the middle here for right now.
Bottom will surge back.
Mike Milfeld gets turned. He's through the grass. He's able to save it. We're going to stay green. Oh, no, he spins it out on the apron. He would have been able to stick with the pack. Now he is going to lose it.
I think he will receive a black flag because it looked like he did cross over the exit of pit road.
And I know black flags are not something that they clear here in this league, so that is certainly unfortunate. See if we can take a look back at that under the break coming up here soon. But it is an all-out brawl for these top 20 right now.
Yeah, stage break should be at the completion of lap 18. So we are just a couple laps away from that. Stage point's going to be very valuable here, as close as this pack is.
Yeah, Marilyn Beck is also in the chat cheering on Kirk. He's now third in line on the bottom. He's in a spot where you really don't have any moves to make. You just kind of have to stay it. Whoa, whoa! I don't know what happened there, but somebody
I think he blew an engine.
Wow, I think you're right. He has dropped all the way out, making his way to the apron. McRoberts blows an engine before the stage break even happens. We haven't really talked about that on the broadcast here, but this engine is certainly more sensitive to air since they introduced a new package for the truck about, I don't know, just a little less than a year ago maybe at this point. It is easy to overheat the engine now, especially with this many trucks. You're trying to push this hard, get some stage points. He just pushed it a little too much there. I mean, that's going to put these drivers on notice.
Yeah, definitely. It really shook up the two outside rows. That outside line trying to get formed back up. Rod Mitten going to jump out in front. Now Rodolasso going to take it up. going to leave Mark Jackson to Wally Terheimer in the middle.
Rod Mitten is a good pusher, though. I like the move from Rodolasso to link up there with the 92, see if he can get himself out front. He was out front for a moment. Some lap traffic coming up now, and they will yield to the apron. That is the 41 of Brandon Groover. He is 2 laps down here at this point. This is it. We are coming to the stage break once they cross the start-finish line out of turn 4. Sean Ryan has it for right now. Can anybody get momentum going in the middle or on the top? Doesn't look like it. Sean Ryan still getting pushed big time from James Lehman. And Sean Ryan will take the stage break win, I think. Still green.
Maybe one more lap. That will definitely give Rodolasso and Mitten a chance to get a good run down the backstretch.
Yeah, Slagle is just a little bit too far off of Terheimer there in the middle lane. You really have to have 3 or 4 trucks really linked up to make the line move forward super, super well. Oh, getting a little shaky here. Coming through the tri-oval. Another big run from Sean Ryan. Rodolasso, a big push from Rod Mitten. He might edge out in front. That is the end of the stage. And
Sean Ryan still had it.
Yeah, that was close, though. Rodolasso nearly had that one, but Sean Ryan will, in fact, take the stage win here. Get himself maximum bonus points at the completion of lap number 19.
If my scoring is correct, Rodolasso was 0.02 of a second behind at the line for the stage break.
Yeah, that was certainly close. Rodolasso and Mitten working very well together there on the top. That will be a duo that if they can get together later on in the race, they may be able to make that happen for them. But let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of replays here. We'll look at the stage break finish there here in a moment. But let's look at what happened to Mike Milfelt a little bit earlier on. Milfelt in the 155 coming out of turn 4. Oh, he tries to make a move to the bottom at the exact same time Andrew Fabian tried to make a move to the bottom. And Fabian just barely gets into the left rear of the 155. And Mike was completely sideways there for a moment through the tri-oval. Off into the grass, and it looked like he was going to be able to hang on to the pack here. But then as he just loses it a little bit, trying to get back up towards the racing surface. But, I mean, it's not going to be a whole lot of harm here because he didn't go a lap down. And now we have a stage break caution. So he's going to be able to continue back here. A great break for. Take a look at the end of the stage here. We are coming to the tri-oval. Sean Ryan got a great push from Lehman off of turn 4, but it stalled out a little bit, and just at the right time, Rodolasso and Mitten got a surge of energy right as they hit the restart zone coming to the start finish.
Yeah, Mitten, very, very good pusher there on that outside.
I mean, here's your frame by frame. That's the 51 hitting start finish line in Rodolasso. I mean, that's maybe 8 to 12 inches off the line at that point. Extremely close when they're running 185, 190.
Yeah, and like you had mentioned when they were coming to the stripe, Slagle was just a little bit too far off of Wally Turheimer to get that middle line to have some energy.
Yeah, that's something that, we talk a lot about the front two linking up, being able to work well together. But a lot of the continued and perpetual momentum, if you will, really relies on that third and fourth truck in line, making sure that there's no big gaps in the chain to really make that line go forward. So, there's a lot of drivers that I don't think necessarily realize that first start super speedway racing. I'm not saying Brad Slagle doesn't realize that, because he's very good at these races. When you first start out at these types of racetracks, if you're third or fourth in line, don't think that your role is very important. And I'll tell you, it is extreme. We'll see how that plays out. Go along. Hitting double five here. About to go back green. Sean Ryan did win the race off of pit road. Rodolasso actually fourth, or top of the second row. Sean Ryan, Zach Summer, Rod Mitten, Jordan Neat, Charlie Widener, Tyler Ebert, he's urgent. Be in top 5 rows here on the restart. Big gaps lineup right now. I'm not sure we're waiting on top side.
And Justin Lehman, not sure if he had issues on pit road, but he's going to restart in 21st. Just behind Billy Baumgartner. So, must have had issues.
Yeah, he was burning a lot of fuel as well. He could have maybe had some trouble getting into his pit box at some point. But I think, he probably had to put a lot more fuel in the truck than some of these other drivers did as well. So that could play in that too. But you're right, James starting outside top 20 here. He doesn't have a lot to worry about. Got some teammates here also starting outside the top 20. They're all looking to save fuel and all looking to get together come the first green flag pit stop of the evening.
And that being said, knowing these Bandit guys, they like to get hooked together and come in a little bit earlier than the field. So definitely keep an eye on them at the rear, getting hooked up together. Ryan gonna lead it across the stripe. Pretty even getaway up front. Mark Jackson leading that outside row, followed by Rodolasso. Lots of space in this field off of this start. Definitely gonna let it get up to speed and leveled out before we start divvying up here. A few people jumping up already.
Yeah, it's tough when you have this many trucks in the pack. There's some drivers that just wanted to maybe get to the stage, and now that it's here, maybe they want to go now. Maybe there's other drivers that are looking to stay back so they don't get caught up in the big one. All of those drivers are all together, so you got some drivers wanting to really go, and others might be in front of them that are content just sitting where they are, and it creates some frustration sometimes for some drivers. So you have to take things patiently on a restart here at this point.
Yeah, I know I've been called out on restart. Car putting the parachute out and wanting to fall to the back to conserve fuel for the long run, and just not able to get around them. It looks like we're starting to form back up here towards the front of the pack. Rear of the pack still strung out and getting single file.
Couple of peaks. I don't know if those are peaks trying to maybe going to go 3 wide, or those could also just be peaks trying to get a little bit more air to the nose, as we've already seen one go kablooey, trying to push as hard as they could. McRoberts out of this race due to engine failure. Drivers are looking to be a little bit kinder to the engines here, trying to get some cool air to them as much as possible.
I'm looking to see some pretty tame racing here for the next couple laps. Not too much moving going on, top and bottom being pretty much even. And if we watch the speed of the cars mid-pack as well as the front, might be looking at a little bit slower on the times here, trying to save fuel.
Yeah, I think certainly once you get outside the top 20, a lot of those drivers are probably just sitting back and waiting, trying to conserve that fuel, as we've mentioned so many times already, but not a point that can be overstated.
Definitely not. We know that Justin Michael has a lot of fuel save tips and tricks on regular racetracks, but plate racing is a whole other story when it comes to fuel saving.
John Ryan here in the bottom, still leading it. Jackson in the 17 has taken over the top spot a couple of times here, but they're just kind of yo-yoing that lead back and forth from the top to the bottom here at the moment. Rodolasso there on the top, helping Jackson.
Yeah, looking at the way this bottom line is formed, you can see the big cap from Mitten to Widener, then Widener back to Heath Smith. I mean, that's really the strategy play, because when you're riding in the draft, being right up underneath the guy in front of you actually seems to save a little bit less fuel than if you sit back a little bit. It wants to suck you in a little bit faster. So definitely seeing the fuel save strategy come into play. That being said, it does slow the field.
Look like may have wanted to get to the top there and take over the top line, but didn't feel like he was quite clear. Didn't want to make an aggressive move like that this early on. Don't really blame him. So 97 will pick here of the 51 here right now. And I think this is as good a time as any. Well, we got the field pretty much all here together before we get to pit stops. I think it's time we go for a little cranking it up. What do you say, Joshua?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
true cranking up fashion. A little bit of shuffling happening there on that lap that we were hearing him go loud and turn left. Rod Mitten has jumped to the second lane, and he leads that second lane now. He's looking to get himself pushed out in front. Brad Slagle, no surprise, he's jumped up to the third lane here. But they have Kerry Cleaver in the third lane going a lap down. We'll see how this plays out through the turn. They're able to make it through. Yeah, that will make you pucker a little bit. That is certainly not going to happen if they were at Daytona. So a good thing we are here in Alabama tonight.
Yeah, I think any lap around Talladega will make you tense up a little bit, especially running here in this leading pack. Like you mentioned, a little bit of shuffling. Jordan Neese has come to the bottom now. Rod Mitten to the point on the bottom row. And he is going to be your current leader.
I'll tell you a duo that have stayed strong here through this run so far. Rod Alasso and Jackson have not left each other there in the middle. They have been working strongly together. They've been overtaken once or twice, but they're right back here with Jackson leading that middle lane. Look at this, Slagle all the way up to the front with the help of Justin Ritchie. It's just the two of them there on the top side.
Yeah, as much as that is side draft and that outside lane getting the fast runs down the straight, I think this is a testament to just how much this whole lead pack is fuel saving. Looking at the lap times, I mean we've been inside the 50-second range for quite some time now. So when you're packed up and running full steam ahead, you'll get down a lot faster than that.
Well, just as quickly as they found the front row, they are now moving backwards.
Just wanted a glimpse at what it looked like, I suppose.
That's a little bit part fuel save by the entire pack as well, more than likely. I mean, from the time that we went green, I think we were green on lap 22. I mean, we're not like incredibly super, have a lot of laps comfortable to make it a one-stop race. I do think we can make it a one-stop race, but I don't think they'll have a whole lot left. So I think they're trying to make sure that they might have a green-white checkered or maybe two in the tank at the end of this one, should this run green all the way out.
Yeah, that being said, checking back on some of your top five in points, Justin Michael, Wally Turheimer, and James Lehman are in a 3-truck pack. Looks like they have pitted already.
Interesting. So Turheimer might together. Interesting. James Lehman's scoring. It does tell me that he came down on lap 32. Justin Michael and Wally Turheimer, it says that they were last down on lap 21, which would have been that last caution. So maybe they were just dropping back to pick each other up. Maybe something happened at some point. I'm not quite sure. But it's also possible that my timing and scoring could be lying to me as well. It's not usually the case, but wouldn't be the first time that. So we'll keep an eye on that as this one rolls along. Meanwhile, up front, this third lane, it has appeared, it's disappeared, and it has come back with big numbers now. Slagle still leading the top side with the 11 of Justin Ritchie behind, but they have way more help at this point now.
Yeah, that'll be a good fuel to add to the fire. for this battle out front. And, being in that middle row, a couple trucks from the front, I mean, that's one of the most stressful spots to be. You got trucks in front, trucks behind, and truck inside and outside. I mean, if something happens, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah, and they're going to have one to bail on him. Now it'll just be 4 left as Slagle was trying to get down. Oh, he's going to get turned in the front of the field. They're still wrecking. Everybody is everywhere. Mark Jackson took a hard shot a couple of times there. Sheet metal flying to the moon here.
Man, oh man.
That one, it looked like it was going to develop, and then it looked like they had it under control. And, well, it ended up developing once again. I believe the 17 of Mark Jackson is probably going to be out of this one after leading a lot of laps and being towards the front of the field for a large portion of this race. All of a sudden, it is taken away.
Yeah, definitely not the place you want to be turned in front of the field 3 wide.
No, I mean, that is right at the front of the field. It could not be any more at the front than that. Let's try and find Brad. And we'll take a look slow motion. Slagle being pushed by Richie. Stop. I don't know if it was a bump that moved him down or if he was trying to move down. Either way, he's going to get loose here on the top side. And kind of has no choice but to make the move to the middle there at that point. Kind of in no man's land here. Trying to come down in front of the 17. I mean, he's into the side of him. He's trying to check up, but I mean, there's really, at the front of the field going 190 plus miles an hour, there's nothing you can do. So everybody's going to start scrambling. Massive shot for Slagle. He's undoubtedly going to be out of this.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised we didn't see a blow over there as he was sideways at 160 miles an hour.
A lot of these drivers down at the bottom of the racetrack doing a pretty good job getting checked up. We'll continue to take a look at this one to give different points of view. Here's a bit of a wider shot. We're going to follow Jackson here because a lot of carnage happened at the bottom of the racetrack where the 17 was. Rodolasso piles in. And a couple of those guys thought they had it snuck through on the bottom. 17 came right down the racetrack. Honestly, for happening right in the front of the field, this could have been much. Most of these drivers did a good job at least minimizing the damage, if not being able to not take really any at all. Take another look. We'll go back to somebody that was a little bit further back of the pack. Go from their point of view. Let's see. This is Jack Watts. He's quite a ways behind here, but he's going to have a good look at how this unfolds and watching everybody scatter. You can see him make contact there in the middle. Slagle gets turned. The smoke starts. He does a great job of getting down to speed. Go back one more time, take another look. This is Zach Saunders' point of view. He's going to watch this right to his outside take place. He is just able to sneak through on the bottom.
Yeah, getting through the big one is no easy task.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a hope and a prayer, but also a lot of skill. I would call it skill and knowing when something's happening, being able to either slow down without hitting the brakes or just slowing down enough to not get piled into from behind, but also keep safe. But there's also an art to knowing when you need to just mash the gas and try and get through it, or slow down because you know you're not going to be able to make it. A lot of different things can go on in your brain when you see something like that, and it takes a lot of time, unfortunately a lot of time, having situations happen before you get comfortable knowing exactly what your plan of action should be.
Yep, I've definitely been caught in my fair share of big ones in my very short time running plate tracks.
So that's the third caution of the evening, only the second brought out by incident. Of course, the middle caution was brought out due to the stage break. And we're going to go green on lap 41, so this is certainly a one-stop race at this point, and they will be able to make it very, very comfortably. Question is, what groups are able to get together, and when do they come down pit road? We're going to find out in the middle of this run here. Oh, caution is out.
Caution.
Driver slow in the back. I don't necessarily see what occurred. At some point, Groover went off the track. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it looks like there's just a stack up.
That is a very interesting. Looks like maybe some drivers still trying to get in line. Honestly, don't even know who this is. Their number's blacked out. I have a black truck, so
Chris Bradley.
So yeah, let's watch this. This is the number 80 in the all blacked out truck. He's gonna dive down in front of Groover as they're starting, and then he's just gonna put the brakes on.
Yeah, not entirely sure on that one.
I don't know if maybe he needed to pass one or two of those drivers, and then it told him to let some drivers by again because he went too far forward. I have no idea, but I can tell you, that's what you don't want to do. That's all else. Unfortunately, that's some decent damage for quite a few drivers there. Will Kirk was one of them. Brandon Groover got absolutely piled into. Groover may have had some damage previously. Still not going to do him any favors. Chris Boyle's here in the 28. He's going to have both front and rear end damage. So, yeah.
Definitely an interesting result to that restart. Looked like we're going to have a couple of guys down pit road just to top off on fuel.
Steve, this is actually Braley's ever start with Home Design Truck Series as well, so maybe just a little bit of inexperience potentially playing into that as well. You never know when somebody comes into a league just how much experience they have on iron. Certainly benefit of the doubt potentially there as well. Lights are still on the pace truck. Also, we kind of mentioned this before we were actually on air, but I don't think actually on the broadcast. We had 42 drivers take the green flag here. And actually, Riley Tilton did take the green flag as well. I guess you could call that 43, not complete lap. For those folks that have completed a lap, 42 drivers, and I believe that is a CNC Home Designs Truck Series record for car or truck entry. So, the other thing, there's still a lot of those trucks left and on the lead lap. A lot of times you see that many trucks, you feel like you have a big caution thing, which we have had a few, but only one of them has been of any real size. And there's still a lot of trucks that we could wad up here at the end if things get absolutely wild and crazy.
Yeah, with 42 starting, having 36 on the lead lap that's wild at this point in the race. Seeing a bunch more drivers down pit road yet again. Get as much fuel as they possibly can. Looks like Jack Watts is going to lead that group off of pit road.
Well, the other thing that we need to talk about here now is if they could make it to the end or not. I think if another caution comes, I think they could certainly make it to the end on foot. However, at this point, not so sure. I think kind of a normal fuel run number at 100% of the trucks is usually about 7, 8. This is going to be a full run, so I think it is possible to save a couple of laps here if you're further back in the pack.
Yeah,
there's a lot of question marks.
Taking the green on lap 45 will put us 30 green flag laps to the end. That's a lot, especially with Max V being on 70% fuel rather than 100.
Yeah, and to be fair, my numbers from when I was running, that was quite a while ago. With the update, they may be able to save more fuel than they once could. So might be more possible than we think to make it all the way to the end, but I think it is going to be very close.
Yeah, definitely.
So, fourth caution period of the evening has come to a close. Rod Mitten is going to lead us to the line here, coming to lap 45. And not a very good start in the middle of this pack. The top 10 have kind of broken away a little bit. Of course, this group behind them is going to come to them once we get up to speed, but they're going to be coming with a head of steam. They're going to have to be careful not to run each other over here. Aggressive pushing up front already. Tyler Starcher trying to put the bumper to the back of the 96 of Tyler Ebert. Wow, look at this. Here comes Justin Michael. He has been deep in the field the entire night by design, and all of a sudden he has shot out of a cannon, pulled out in front of Andrew Schulte. You do not want to see these two get together.
Yeah, a lot of good plate racers there on that outside line. Michael gonna come down to the middle.
Terheimer, a very good super speedway racer in his own right. He might be able to get Schulte pushed out all the way to the front here once they get that momentum back and going. And that bottom line fell apart big time. Rod Mitten only even with the third car in line in the middle. Justin Michael will pull down in front. Take a minute for them to get back up to speed, though, as here comes the big run from the outside. Andrew Schulte has taken the point. Oh, he wanted to try and get down. It wasn't there. Pulls back in front of Terheimer. Third lane is going to suffer greatly as a result.
As quick as Michael was to come around that outside line, he is already back to fourth on that inside line.
Wow, Terheimer and Fabian nearly came together there on entry into turn one as well. These drivers are, I mean, the intensity has visibly ramped up, undoubtedly here. Terheimer blocking all of the lanes now. Schulte gonna cross over back up into the middle. That's a 12 of Jordan Neese that has been in the middle of all of this. He was on the top, helped push that line up, then he will drop down to the middle. Oh, look at this move! My goodness, that is Raul Alves in the sim stamped 38, the custom stamped 34. He makes a very aggressive move to get down in front of Terheimer. Boy, if I didn't know any better, I'd think we're just good all the way to the end and they're duking it out. Either that or they know that a pit stop is on its way.
Vying for position this early.
I can certainly understand wanting to get to one of the front two rows. I mean, later in the race when everybody starts to pack up, typically things are going to happen around the third, fourth, fifth row in the line, jockeying for position. Personally, I think it's a good idea to get yourself to the first row or two. I think statistically you're in a better position. But you also have to keep yourself from getting into trouble trying to get to one of the spots.
Yeah, it's definitely heated up here.
Oh, man.
One thing to note, the two of Kyle Kabash, second in that outside line. He started shotgun on the field in 43rd.
I actually think
your
he's
highest mover.
Yeah, I think he actually started from the pits maybe and then got you know, kind of lucky. I don't know if maybe he missed the start or what, but I mean, that caution came out on the initial restart, which allowed him to just get right back to the pack.
His outside line's falling apart.
And Kavash actually got into the wall off of 2 the last lap around, so maybe a couple of drivers behind him were not feeling so good about that duo on the top and decided to pull off to the middle lane here. Carroll and Kavash still trying to make it work, but not really gaining any ground here. They're not losing a ton, but they're not really gaining either.
Arheimer very squirrely there on the bottom.
Oh, and Justin Ritchie's help has left him. Ritchie all by his lonesome for a moment here. He wants Jordan Neese to get to the back of him, but it's taking a little bit too much time to develop.
Man, that's going to really pull back on both of these outside rows.
There's just a lot of lane switching between the 2 top lanes, and I don't think it's working in their favor. Could be a possibility. Pit stops are coming. Yes, they are. A big group of drivers coming down pit road. It looks like everybody gets in clean. And that is exactly what we spoke about. A lot of those drivers are the drivers that we typically see come in early, try and get packed up together to put a gap on the rest of the field once they come back out. Lehman, Widener, Kirk, Greg Mall, Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael, Scott Patton, Heath Smith, Zach Groover. All of those drivers plus a couple more came down pit road that lap, and they're going to try and get single file here to put a gap on the rest of the field. Now, the question is, does anybody answer with pit stops of their own? Oh! Caution is out! My goodness! Brandon Weiss in the middle of it again. And unfortunately, the 51 is in it as well. Man.
Man, oh man.
That developed in a hurry. Mike Milfeld was headed down pit lane by his self, by the way. Be a benefactor. Starts in the middle lane. They're stacked up behind Ritchie in the middle, who's splitting lanes here. Makes things very, very difficult. Then you see 17 and the 12 of Nice get together. Oh, and that is Raul Alvis and the 38. Actually, it's 34 on the truck. He actually turns 5 here straight up into 50. Oh, man. I mean, these were some heavy hitters that have been at the front of the race. All of a sudden, they're going to have big, big damage. That's Sean Ryan in the 51. 63 was Nathan Carroll. He'd been up in the front, then he went to the middle to the back and had worked his way up into the top 10 for a little bit again.
Yeah, lots of heavy hits there. I'm surprised we did not see the 65 go all the way over.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether he went over or not, it's need some help to make it much further here. Hoping we can get on board with Paul, but here he is. This many trucks on the leader, it's tough for me to find them to get to their point of view, but here it is. Right in here on the bottom. Ryan was right on the door. 5 moves down, and Elvis just never lifts. I didn't lift till the very, very end, but it was too late. Nathan Carroll absolutely careened into the pit wall, so that likely over for the 6th. Well,
very unfortunate. Lots of very fast trucks taken out with that one.
and guess what? Those drivers that came down pit road early, just one lap before that incident, they are going to find themselves at the front of the field. So this field has been flipped and turned upside down. Andrew Schulte will start on the point here. Rod Mitten is outside. Wally Turner start on row 2. Mark Jackson and Scott Patton. Alvis. James Lehman and Greg Mall. Last year's champion. CNC Home Design Truck Series. He will round out your top 10. And then you're going to get back into the drivers that had to come down pit road to take fuel after the caution came out. That's Saunders, Ritchie, Surgeon, Avian, Starcher, Bill Paradise, Billy Bumgarner, Jack Watts, Charlie Widener, Matt Sisler, Heath Smith. Then we're going to get outside the top 25. That's your top 25 right there. But the Bandit contingencies plus some others, they find themselves with control of the field here. That could not have worked out more.
Yeah, so long as they didn't go lap down, they were in the prime spot for that caution to come out. And I think you're going to see them surge to the very front here just before long.
Well, the pace truck is off. That was the end of our 5th caution period of the evening. Will it be the last? We're about to find out. 18 laps to go here at Talladega once they cross the stripe.
Schulte and Terheimer with a very good start. That's going to leave a big gap behind.
Oh,
Seeing
Mitten
Michael.
trying to squeeze
Michael
to
and
Michael.
Patton.
Alvis with a huge run there in the middle, taking it to the back of the 92. 92 gets pushed up to the top side. Oh, and he blinks. He's disappeared. Rod Mitten. Oh, man, that is a dangerous situation. That is exactly what you do not want to happen is Justin Michael, who was behind Mitten when he just disappeared from the racetrack for a second or two. Oh, and he's blinking
there he goes
again.
again.
Wow, that's unfortunate. This has not happened at all during this race for the 92. He's been up front the entire time, and all of a sudden he's going to have internet problems now. He'll try and get things sorted out. Turheimer is on the point here on the bottom. And guess what? Mark Jackson in the 17 right back to the front of the middle lane. I mean, he has led this middle lane for a large majority of this race at this point. He loves it there.
Definitely been his bread and butter throughout this race.
Alvis in the 34, who actually started that last incident to bring out the caution. He is pushing Mark Jackson here in the middle. And he's being aggressive. He's a little bit all over the place, but it's been effective so far. But he's been tucked up.
Don't think it's going to be long before we see that row of Patton, Michael, and Greg Mall jump to that third line.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's without a shadow of a doubt that will happen eventually. Although they do have Justin Ritchie up above a couple of them now, so they can't all go together right now should they want to. Rod Mitten trying to hang out there with Ritchie on the top side as well. It might be one of those moves for them that you have to make sooner than later, though, because if Ritchie and Mitten continue to move forward, there's going to be some drivers behind them that jump out there as well.
Yeah, let's see. Patton's going to go. Oh!
Wow!
Mixing it up.
Jackson nearly got turned by the 34 of Alvis. Going to jump up to the third lane now, although I don't know if it was even on purpose. I think it was just a product of the incident between him and Mark Jackson there in the 17. I think Jackson is going to welcomely have Scott Patton behind him in the middle lane here.
Yeah, Patton, a very good pusher here at the Super Speedways.
Man, oh no! Alvis gets turned! He's the only one so far. He's going to come back up into the field.
Oh. That's going to take Lehman. Millfelt sideways in the track. Greg Mall involved.
Now, there were quite a few that were in the vicinity and involved in some capacity. Well, that answers the question I posed before we took the green there. Fifth caution period, not our last. That is a sixth caution of the a couple of hairy moments here for the 34 of Alvis. And one is going to bring out the sixth caution. Man, that is a big case of pushing the pusher there. Mitten pushing Ritchie, who is pushing the 34. 34 is going to break loose right in front of the field. It is a miracle that he didn't hit anybody there. And Ritchie does an amazing job to stay off of Turheimer there on the bottom. They're four abreast here. And then the 34 is going to come back up the race.
Yeah, very unfortunate indeed. Although, after moving backwards due to internet issues, Rod Mitten is going to be your lead truck here at this caution.
Take a look as Alvis comes up the racetrack and punts Lehman right up in front of Greg Mall, who gets up into gets up into Will Kirk. Andrew Schulte with some damage there. Couldn't stay out of the back of the 7 either. Oh, look at Bill Paradise putting on the brakes. Narrowly avoids the 34 there. Great work by the 5.56. Number 5 of Bumgardner goes spinning there for just a moment as well, but able to keep it mostly under control. Very minimal damage there for the 5. And we're going to go back a little bit, and we'll go on board with Alvis here. See the wheel inputs, what he was dealing with. Oh, breaks loose right there in the tri-oval. Through the grass, right up into the racing line. So, I mean, Alvis has been in a couple of these, but honestly, the truck is still fairly clean. He's made some contact, but it hasn't nearly been as bad as it could have been for either of these.
Yeah, we've seen that with the new damage model that these trucks have. Sometimes they are like tin cans, and other times basically indestructible. Can take a lot of damage, so it really just depends on just what angle your truck hits and how you end up bouncing off.
It's Ackerson has been in the chat. Terheimer had, well, he took the lead there on the bottom for quite a while under the green flag conditions. Terheimer will start 5th on this restart. By the way, I'm sure Scott Patton came down pit road last time on lap 38. I don't think that's possible. I could have sworn he came down after that. So I mean, we have had a few cautions.
Yeah, my scoring is showing lap 53.
Okay, I think that's probably more accurate.
Just with everyone else on that last caution.
Because I don't think he could be out on the racetrack till the... Your number is probably more accurate. Well, Rod Mitten, he's back up to the front yet again. Last time he started up at the front, he had some internet issues. Hopefully those can stay away for the 92 here.
And not the only one. I have been booted out of this race and back in already once so far.
Oh, dear. Some of that sometimes has to do with a large car count. Sometimes you just get a bad server every once in a while. Mark Jackson, he will start on the outside row here. He loves being there in the middle. I'm sure he will stick with it. And he has a great partner in crime there. Justin Ritchie in the 11 starting behind him. Scott Patton will start behind Rod Mitten there at the bottom. Terheimer, Sisler, Jordan Neese, Brad Slagle, Justin Mike, Andrew Schulte will be your top 10. But there are a lot of drivers left here on the lead lap. I believe it's 30 on the lead lap here with only 10 to go when we cross the line.
This is going to be a knockout brawl to the end. Very good start from this bottom.
Yeah, nice push there from Patton to stick with Mitten all the way through. It might be Patton trying to sneak his way to the top, though. We'll see what happens when they come to it. Richie, a big bump there to Jackson in the 17. Oh, Michael, he's trying to bob and weave to get to the back of Richie. He does, and then he's going to pull back out in front there on the top. Andrew Schulte will go with him.
Justin Michael on a mission here. Wanted to get to the front when he could.
That was Matt Sisler in the 93. That, I mean, Justin Michael was pulling running back moves on him, trying to fake him out and get through. He finally did. Now he's going to pull down to the bottom in front of Jackson.
Oh, we got one turn.
Oh, one in the back. That is, oh, dear. There are a lot of trucks that have been damaged on this one. Trent Drum, Will Kirk, Kyle Kabash. So, I mean, we kind of called it. 30 trucks on the lead lap with only 10 to go. It was bound to get dicey.
Yeah, a couple of very heavy hits there in the back. Will Kirk, unfortunately, getting tagged in that one as well.
Exactly where this one starts. We'll take a look here. Oh, and it starts with Keith Smith. Pause this, get a bit of a better angle. That's a 96 of Ebert. Back it up a little bit further to see if it really develops. Smith, pretty good head of steam here on the bottom. He's going to take it to the middle. I believe that is Surgeon and Ebert that he is pretty wide with there for a brief. And he's still, I mean, he is wide with Ebert this entire time. I don't know if Ebert just saw them pull out in front of him. Felt like I don't know. This was kind of a weird one of them all coming together.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 26 of Fabian looked like he was starting to move down the racetrack. So I'm wondering if Ebert was just kind of following him, not realizing that Smith was underneath him.
I think that's very possible. At the same time, the 12 was coming up the racetrack as well. The 26 was kind of reacting to the 12. A lot of things happening there, and unfortunately, Zachary Groover in the 27, he is going to take a massive, massive lick there into the wall. And the KTM number 27, it's always unfortunate. A truck with a paint scheme of a motorcycle. It pushed up into the wall. I'm partial.
Yeah, very unfortunate incident. Heath Smith was very fast at the beginning of this race.
There were a few extra after the initial incident. Abash goes for a spin right in front of a lot of the field. Ebert came down the racetrack into the 60 also. That was Justin Bell in the 60.
Yeah, hard hit for him into the wall.
Abash went for a long, long ride there. Never made a lot of contact with anybody, though, so should still be in decent shape here.
Just grab a set of tires and you'll be fine.
Tires. You need. No, there are a few that are going to come down here. We're involved in that one. Harry Offit, Trent Crum, Kyle Cabot, Ebert, Will Kirk, Justin Bell, Milfelt. Milfelt might not have come down, but he slapped down right. I mean, it's still going to be a lot of trucks on the lead lap. I believe that will make it 29, but quite a few more with some damage. So I don't think all 29 will necessarily be competitive at this point, but they are out there on the lead lap still. Well, when we take the green flag, it'll be just 5 to go. It was a somewhat, even though we had some cautions, it was somewhat tame until we got to about lap 55 or so. A couple of the cautions that came out were pretty minimal contact, restart caution, but I mean, they certainly had to be thrown. Not a lot of trucks taken out. All of a sudden, carnage has started to happen here in the last 20 laps.
I definitely don't want to commentator jinx it here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be any more tame on this restart either.
Well, I can tell you this. You got Justin Michael and Andrew Schulte who work very well together starting on the front row. I mean, they can't block the entire track, but they can certainly control the front of this field quite a bit here. It'll be interesting to see if they go single file, get together like that off the start, or if they're just going to control both of these lanes. We're about to find out. Field coming to the green. 5 laps to go here for the CNC Home Designs Truck Series at Talladega.
Michael with a good start.
And I think he actually backed the start up a little bit to allow Schulte to move forward there on the top, but Saunders in the 97 will continue to carry momentum. Here comes Rod Mitten in the 92 to help. Oh, we're getting shuffled. Patton going to find himself in the middle with really not any help.
Nice is going to try and catch up.
Oh, off-center push here from Schulte to Michael. Mark Jackson in the 17. He'll drop down to the bottom. He'll try to take the point.
Mark Jackson on the front row yet again.
Somewhat unfamiliar territory for Mark Jackson, though. He's going to be on the bottom instead of in the middle this time. Saunders in the 97 to push there on the bottom. Here comes Justin Ritchie on the top side. With the driver we really haven't talked about much at all here tonight. May have mentioned his name one time. Jack Watts is here to play in the 77.
Yeah, Watts, one of those drivers that don't hear much from in the mid-race, but he shows up 4 wide further in the pack.
Oh, yeah, 4 wide for quite a while.
Oh.
That is Alvis trying to muscle his way there in the middle.
Oh.
It ends up working out for now. Now we're 4 wide at the front.
Mitten gonna pull out. Mark Jackson.
Jackson still trying to keep
line.
it 4 wide. He does. They make contact. Oh, they're
there
wrecking.
we go.
Wow. 4 wide at a couple of different points there. And the 4 wide at the front of the field is what brings a caution out.
Mark Jackson several times completely off the ground.
I mean, I thought they had it saved there for quite a while, but you could tell it was developing in the wrong direction.
That was a very long wreck.
Certainly. Let's go back to the point of caution here. However, we really need to back it up. We're going to back it up to the initial 4 wide. This is heading into turn number 3 as Widener, Alvis, Sargent, and Billy Bumgarner get 4 wide through turns 3 and 4. Alvis has a pretty good run, but you're going to see him trying to muscle his way underneath of Slagle. In between Sargent and Slagle, he gets sideways, bounces around a little bit, and it ends up somehow getting sorted out. And we thought we were in the clear there for a moment, but Mitten gets a big run here on the bottom. He's going to take it to the outside of the 97. Mark Jackson says, okay, you're going to take it there. I'm going to take it one more lane up. And Justin Michael and Richie were here on the top side that entire time working together. They come 4 wide. Across start finish. Jackson kind of got out of it there for a moment, then gets a big surge here into turn number 1. And him and Richie just make a little bit of contact here. Kind of gets them both a little squirrely. And it pushes Jackson down into Mitten. Also down into Schulte. And ultimately, they just could not hang on to it for that long. And that's a big one. All 4 tires off the ground there for the 17. Oh, Widener, Lehman, Slagle all take big hits. And Jack Watts, who we just talked about, he's in the wall. I don't know how he missed Slagle there, though. That was great work from the 7.
Lots of fast trucks who were running up front for most of the race taken out with that one.
Yeah, the last couple have taken out some heavy hitters so far. Let's back it up and we'll go on board with the 17 coming out of turn number 4. You're going to see Mitten make his way up into that middle lane. Jackson says, all right, I'll just go one more lane up. I'll take you 3 wide. Justin Michael says, wait a minute, boys. I got a head of steam. We're going to come up, make it 4 wide here for a moment. And this is where things start to come together. Man, he didn't even wiggle that much either. It was just nearly impossible to run 4 wide that long through the corner. They have certainly given us no shortage of entertainment value here tonight. There's no doubt about that.
MXV never one to disappoint.
Funny is, a lot of their super speedway races actually go green all the way through. But with this many trucks, a lot of drivers newer to the series, people are still trying to feel each other out, especially on a super speedway. Have to feel your other competitors out a lot more on these types of racetracks than you do others. think it has all compiled here tonight to result in 8 cautions thus far.
Going to be our first green-white checkered of the race. Allotted 3 of them. Given we don't make it to the white flag.
A lot of times it takes them, a lap to really get their momentum going. I think it's very possible we make it to the white and then things start getting crazy after that. And it really depends on if trucks get good restarts here or not. If things get strung out, I don't know. I think they could take the white, but then when we on the white flag lap, things will certainly get disheveled.
Yeah, once you get to that point, that's when you got to start watching for people like Lehman who are, towards the mid to rear of this field, just making it through the big one, and slipping up there for a good finish.
Here it is, folks. Green flag has flown. Could it be the last time here tonight? Saunders leads it here on the bottom. Justin Michael jumps down. Good restart through most of the top 10. They are all going to come together here out of 2.
Justin Michael going to take it up top again. Same thing as the last restart.
Yeah, right in front of Matt Sisler. Doesn't give the juke move to the 93 this time. They are going to stick together with Ron Mitten there on the top. Wow, big push from Sisler to Michael in the corner. Mitten is all over the 93 pushing the pusher. Through the tri-oval,
Yes.
Can we make it to the white before the caution flies? Yes, we can. White flag is out. 1 more to go.
Oh, lots of rubbing.
Oh, they are wrecking further back.
Oh, Patton.
It's the top six breakaway. Oh, dear. It is a massive incident behind. We are not going to throw the yellow. We are going to race this thing out. Sisler gets himself to the bottom. Sisler with help from Zach Saunders in the 97 trying to push their way past Michael and Mitten. They are clear. When does Saunders make the move? Saunders still giving help to Sisler. Might stick with the 93 here. Oh, he makes a move to the bottom. Matt Sisler is going to win it here at Talladega. Maybe just 1 move too late for Saunders. Matt Sisler and the 93 have shown up and taken the hardware here in Alabama. Man, Sisler is one of those drivers. We talked about Jack Watts kind of laying low. Sisler kind of came out of nowhere as well there just on the last couple of restarts. He got juked out of his rubber there by Justin Michael on the prior restart, but he learned from it on that one, and he gave it to the rest of the field. Man, this is going to feel good here for the 93. That is a well-deserved burnout there for Matt Sisler. Through the 6-truck breakaway. Makes the exact right moves that he needed to make. Take the win here tonight. We will get to talk to him here in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and get to your full finishing rundown. Here's the full results here tonight from Talladega. Matt Sisler will take the big win here. I can't wait to hear from him and see what he has to say. Great showing from Zach Saunders. He was all over the front of the field here tonight. Just came up maybe just a little bit late on that final move, but still a great finish. Undoubtedly there for the 97. Wally Turheimer will get a podium position here tonight. Looked like he was going to have a shot at the win, but I don't think he's going to be too angry about a third-place finish. Justin Michael, Andrew Fabian will be fifth there in the 26. Rod Mitten, it was a great race for the 92 here tonight. Came up a bit short, but I think there's a lot to be proud of there for Mitten. Surgeon in the 66 after being involved in a couple of late ones. He still finishes in 7th. Zach Groover finishes in 8th. James Lehman will 9th. Greg Parmalee will round out your top 10. Outside the top 10, Mike Milfelt, Aiden Young, Gary Offit, Charlie Weiner, Jack Watts, Bill Paradise, Trent Drum, Mark Jackson, Jordan East, Tyler Ebert will round out your top 20. Justin, Brad Slagle, Raul Alvis, Andrew Schulte, Kyle Kabash, Billy Bumgarner, Heath Smith, Scott Patton, Greg Mull, and Will Kirk will be your top 30. After these folks, the rest of these folks are going to be at least one lap down. That's Chris Braley, Kerry Cleaver, Sean Ryan, Justin Bell, Brandon Weiss, Michael Van, Tyler Starcher, Nathan Carroll, Chris Voiles, Matt Rodolosso, Brandon Groover, and Ryan McRoberts round out the 42 drivers that were able to complete one lap. Riley Tilton was hoping to be able to compete, but ran into some issues yet again, fortunately. Was not able to complete a lap here tonight. So that is the full rundown. We'll get a look at the big incident there at the end of the race as we kind of go through our post-race festivities here. But let's go ahead and get to some interviews here as Ollie Turheimer in the 75. He was up front a large portion of the race. Came up just a little bit short, but still grabbed a third-place finish. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, things certainly got sideways for a lot of folks there towards the end of the race. Quite a few cautions there in the last 25 laps or so, but you were able to weather the storm, able to put yourself in good position there. What was it like to even get to that point in the race? Because there was a lot of action that happened there.
Well, we've got a pretty good team. You know, the Bandit Motorsports team is a pretty good team, and we have been running together for a long time. A lot of us have been running together for 10 years, right? So we kind of know how everybody's going to react. But as you know, these races, I've kind of been not that good on the other tracks, and on the super speedways I seem to be in the right place at the right time. So I just was hoping on that and just kind of staying with the groove and doing whatever I had to do just to stay amongst everybody. And luckily everything was happening behind us kind of. And when something happened right in front of me, I think it was like 10 laps to go or whatever, there was that wreck. And I just lifted a little bit, and Justin and somebody got into it, and I let the guy go, slip by on the inside, spun out into the grass or did whatever. And luckily I didn't run into him, or my race was over at that point. So I just was in the right place at the right time, which I tend to be on the super speedways a lot more than on the other tracks.
Well, when it happens time and time again, there is a lot of luck involved, but doing the right out of certainly proved. Joshua, got anything for Wally here?
Congrats on the podium. Podium at a track like Talladega is always something to be proud of. Um, a race like tonight, lots of cautions for a super speedway race. Would you rather see a night like tonight, or would you rather have watched this race go green to checkered?
With our team, we have a good, like I said, we've been racing together. A lot of us have been racing together for a long time. No cautions would be awesome. The first couple of cautions, I think we went a couple of good runs without any cautions except for like the first lap coming out of coming out of a caution. And so we really didn't seem like we had a lot to start with, although the first lap we had one, and then I think on lap 20 or 19 or whatever we had one. But it didn't seem like there was a lot of that to start with, and after that it was just like, hold on and just make sure you stay safe and grab your buddy and stay with them, and just don't try to do too much too early.
Like a tornado. Grab your buddy and hang on for dear life. Wise words from Wally Turheimer there. Well, congrats on the P3. Let's let you get some thank yous, shout outs there for you here from a podium position.
Oh, just thanks to the Bandit Motorsports team. We've been, like I said, we've been running together for a long time. Thanks to you guys. It's a lot of fun watching these races back. Thanks to my mom, Martha Tierheimer, my daughter, Deanna, Nicole, who shows up, my brother, Lance, who shows up, Lance Ackerson shows up. It's awesome. I'm really happy to be able to get a podium for those guys, because they watch and they root and they root and they root. And when I come up flat, a lot of these times, it makes me feel a lot better to do a little bit better on this track. So I appreciate them.
Yeah, it's always fun to see family members cheering on the drivers in the chat. Lance was heavy in the chat, especially at the end of the race when you knew you had a good opportunity to potentially take a win. We'll take a podium in it. Congratulations again, and hopefully Tommy and Joshua will be.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, fam.
Alrighty, that was Wally Turheimer. Always a great interview. Always great to get to talk to the 75. From the 75, somebody that I've talked to quite a few times, we're going to roll into the 97 of Zach Saunders, who I've never had. Saunders is way onto the podium yet again. He's together a few here so far early in his career truck series, and he's gonna get it done on the big track as well. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, it was one of those races that was somewhat calm in the beginning, and then all of a sudden all hell broke loose last 25 laps. But I mean, like you kind of laid low for a large majority of this race, and then kind of popped up out of nowhere with a great chance to potentially take a win. Just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, just played it really quiet there at the beginning. I know Dega all too well, and been knocked out of it too early before. So, and just played it smart, getting up to the front. Didn't do any big dramatic moves like a couple other people were doing, and just taking the unnecessary risk and wrecking the truck and wrecking the whole field. So yeah, once the stage was coming up, that's when I started moving up towards the front, making moves a little bit, and then just stayed up in that top 10 area, or tried to, and got really lucky on the one restart. Went from 13th to 3rd, which really helped staying up front in the top 5 to have a chance to get anything done. And I needed to be just a little bit further off of who was that one, Matt's bumper to fake a move up and come down and get a run off the side draft. So just we'll take it. P2 finished with a 0x, so I didn't make anyone mad, hopefully, and we'll come out of here with a clean truck.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good opportunity at a move there. It just didn't quite develop quickly, and certainly nothing to sneak at there for you. We talked to Wally here just a moment ago, and he kind of talked about how a lot of these drivers have been racing together for 5, maybe 10 plus years together. I mean, you're newer to a lot of these drivers know each other very, very well. I mean, what's it like trying to? I mean, Talladega, it's one of those racetracks where you have to kind of be comfortable with those around you. I mean, how did you fare trying to feel out some of these drivers?
Yeah, that was like you said, I was kind of quiet in the beginning, and that's what I was doing. I was seeing how people was driving, and what they was willing to do early in the race, and for me, seeing people make big dramatic moves early in the race, I don't want nothing to do with you, basically, because you're gonna, if I get around you and you do something stupid, that's my race done, basically. If I don't get through it, and I've done my 2 races with Justin in the ARCA series, so I know pretty much how he runs and stuff, and a couple other guys. But yeah, it's just that race was figuring out what people were willing to do, and made a couple friends along the way that if we got linked up, we could do something, and worked with Matt there to stay up front there, with 15-ish to go. Justin left me on the bottom. He pushed me back up front, so thanks to him for keeping me in the fight and whatnot. And was willing to work with him. Knew he could hold a push, and knew he was a good pusher and whatnot. So ended up finding him and giving him a good shove to the line.
Joshua, you got anything for Zach here?
Yeah, congrats on the podium here at Dega. Man, with as many cautions as we saw, at what point does any hope of fuel strategy or pit strategy just go out the window, and you just got to run it as it is and get there where you can?
Honestly, we was getting really close when you guys saw that first batch of guys go down to pit lane. They pitted a little early for me. I think I had about 10 laps of fuel left, so I wanted to get around that 5-ish lap range before I wanted to do anything. So we was really close to pitting under green flag, and once that happened, the fuel strategy just went out the window. There was no point in doing anything. Just took an extra click of what iRacing thinks I needed, and had some extra fuel to do the green white checkered, and was able to stay up front.
Well, congrats again on the P2. It was a great night for you here. I'll let you get some thank you shout outs.
Yeah, thanks for you guys putting on the stream, and thanks to the guys that run the league. This has been pretty good joining in for only my 3rd race, so really enjoying the race with you guys.
Well, it's been great to have you, and looking forward to talking to you from the podium, or maybe the top spot here more. And that's again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Great to get to hear from somebody a little bit newer to the league there, and Zach Saunders. And we're going to move from Zach, who is newer to the league, and we're going to roll on to your race winner, the 93 of Matt, who has been searching for one of these here for a little while now, and he gets it done at Talladega. How about it?
Yeah. How about it, Matt? I'm still a bit in shock, honestly. I didn't expect the win to come at Talladega, but all you have to do is keep yourself in position to go for it. And coming through 1 and 2, I could see Justin was leaving that middle open, and I got I had the run, and I thought the 92 was honestly going to go low, and I was like, I'm going to just go with him, and got low, and they stayed high, and the field died behind us, which I didn't even realize till I watched your replay back. And then, give Zach and Wally huge credit. They gave me a massive shove to clear Justin on the outside, and we got to the tri-oval. It was just basically cover where they're going, and yeah. You said, how about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're undoubtedly certainly. We haven't even really gotten to take a great look at it yet. We will here in a second. I mean, that restart was just about identical to the restart that had happened just previously. Previous restart, Justin Michael kind of faked you low, faked you high, faked you low again to try and get around you. He kind of tried it again, but maybe not as aggressively there in the last restart. Was there anything you learned from the prior restart that you kind of used him at bit there?
Well, I mean, we're running, too wide there, like, especially maybe not so much on that first restart, but definitely on the last one, going through 1 and 2, I could see he was, like I said, I kept wanting him to come down a little because, like, if the 92 gets there, he's just going to be able to draft everybody and go forward. That's how these trucks are. And I'm like, Justin, come down a little, because it's like, I know the 92's in position to try to win this just as much as we are. And then, like, off that, like, he kept staying up, and then, like, he made a little bit of a move when I dove out of line when I knew we were clear of the 97. Like, he made a little bit of a move, but I think I got to his left rear and it pulled him back just enough to where he couldn't, like, if he kept coming down, he was going to spin himself. So, like, what I really noticed, it was the fact that he was running like half a lane up, not like right on the trucks on the inside. And, and that's wide enough, as you guys saw on the broadcast, to get a truck in. And, I ended up doing it down the backstretch.
Josh, we got anything for Matt here?
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Talladega is a wild one for sure. And I asked Wale the same thing. But sometimes you might get a race on a super speedway that goes green to checkered, and sometimes you get a night like tonight where there's quite a few cautions. From a driver's perspective, which would you rather? Play the fuel game on a full race, or just be there at the end and have an all-out brawl?
I mean, both have their advantages, right? Like, ideally for the fans, you would rather it kind of run out green, honestly, but it's been these types of finishes, right, where you maybe have an overtime or you have a natural green-white checkered where you restart with like 2 to go or 2 or 3 to go, where, that's where I've won from this position before. I did a Gen 6 league here, and I ended up winning with a slingshot move off turn 4, and it was a green-white checkered finish. Ironically, I dodged a wreck in that race similar to this one, where I was just up high and they wrecked below me, and that ended up putting us in position to win that one. But I seem to do pretty well. Like, if I can just keep the truck clean and stay with the leaders, which, as you guys have seen in Max V, it's very hard to do if it goes green, because there's just so many, like, there's so many good drivers, good and really good teams that, like, if you don't play the strategy right, they're going to be half the track ahead of you, and you're going to be left fighting for 8th, 9th, 10th. You're going to. So, I prefer the close-in fight because, at least then I got a shot. But, either one really works. I know that's kind of a flim-flammy answer, but that's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it can go either way. You can have those record that really works for you, and then you don't. It's one of those where you have to have some things go your way, but you have to do certainly did the right thing. I know Tommy is going to be extremely disappointed that he so I'm sure he'll have fun watching this. But let's let you get some shout outs here from the winner's position, the top step of the podium. Shout outs and
Appreciate that. It's nice to actually be here and not finish a truck length behind James Lehman. Thank you, Homestead. My painter, start out with him, Lil Hooper Designs. He did this awesome Accelerate Pro Talent Solutions truck. He does 98% of my paints, and this is one of his best ones. And I think he's still taking commissions if you can find him. Three Birdies Golf Company, my sponsor. They've got a bunch of awesome, golf apparel and really comfy stuff that on their website just for everyday wear. It's threebirdiesgolfco.com. Just everybody who run Max V, James and Scott and Justin and everybody who runs this awesome league. I've been in here for about a year now, and it's always been really, really good and really, really fun to race here. Celsius for the quick energy to be able to race really well. The Podium Finish website, they're a NASCAR and sports site on their kind of an independent. They're on the B pillar today for our truck, and they're a bunch of awesome people over there. And then of course, can't forget you guys at Turn 200 for the awesome broadcast. And this is definitely one that I'll be going back to watch for sure.
Yeah, I love that. It's always fun to have a win on a broadcast back in one. Very, very happy that we were able to be here for it. Man, I just can't say congratulations enough to you on this one, but also looking forward to the next one as well, because I know there will be a next one coming up at some point. So we will go ahead and let you go. In the wise words of Tommy Cook, I'm going to tell you to go party very, very hard here tonight with.
Oh, is there any other way when it's Talladega?
I love it. Congrats, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, that is your race winner, Matt Sisler. And he kind of outlined it. He's been searching for it. He's been close a couple of times, quite able to get it done. Sounds like he didn't even think that it would be able to come here at Talladega, but it has. 93 is in victory. How about it, Joshua?
Always a fantastic time with Max V. Talladega never disappoints. Talladega being my only victory on the channel. So definitely one that hits home. Been on the podium every time I've raced here. So definitely always a blast. Really looking forward to the Venom Truck Series on Tuesday night to be running here as well. Always a blast. Thanks to James Lehman and all of the Max V guys for putting on a show as always.
Yeah, and you heard it there from Joshua. We are going right back to Talladega on Tuesday night for the Venom Truck Series. They always put on a hell of a show at these super speedway races as well. So certainly not going to want to miss that one. And we have Sports Car Championship racing coming up again here on Turn 200. It is that time for the ASRL Signs and it's not imminent. Or I totally apologize. Watching. It's brought to you by Purple Haze now. ASRL Sports Car Championship will be back on Wednesday. I will not be on the call this season. It will be Tommy Cook and James Watson. We've seen a lot of James Watson recently, who has also been helping out Tommy Cook on Fridays for special stage. He will be taking part in the broadcast for the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Well, GT3 action coming to you with a couple of different GT classes. You're going to have a Pro class and M class. They're going with gold and silver classes for the name. So you are not going to want to that. That is always a great time. Had a lot of fun with that series. Fortunately, I believe this will be the last season Sports Car broadcast on Turn 200. So show them some support. Come out and watch it there on Wednesday. And they are right back here on Thursday after that. And we're going to be at Charlotte. So another very quick racetrack, but this time it'll be a mile and a half. And we'll see who gets their elbows out at Charlotte there Thursday. Thank you to everybody that was watching here in the chat as well. Of course, Lance Ackerson there, right there towards the end. Man, he nearly got it done, but it was great to get to talk to him on the podium nonetheless. Fortunately, Riley Tilton was not able to continue through this one, but thanks for coming out and trying to make it happen. Would have been great to see out there. Marilyn Beck and Michelle Kirk cheering on. Will Kirk, as always, had a great race going there for a while, and unfortunately got caught up in a couple of things there a little bit later. So not quite able to get the finish that he wanted, but looked like he had a good time out there nonetheless. And, of course, to the Moticheks for being here, Joshua, and the broadcast, as always. Appreciate the support from everybody, and that is going to do it for us here tonight. So, for Josh Motichek and Tommy Cook, who was not able to join us here tonight, don't forget to turn into Dirt Vision tomorrow night. World of Outlaws Sprint Cars will be at Jacksonville Speedway. You can listen to our very own Tommy Cook on the broadcast. I don't want to miss that one. I will be sure. So for him as well, this has been the CNC Home Designs Truck Series from Talladega. A massive congratulations to Matt Sisseler for taking his first win in the CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.